guys? This is Mr. Gold, and today we are going to be talking about the 1969 NFL season. This will be episode 4 in Seasons of NFL History, and let's just get right into it. So, we could not have a 1969 NFL season if we did not start off with the 1969 AFL draft. So, obviously, we're only going to be talking about the big three player types in this. So if the player was drafted was at any time in his career a Pro Bowler, an AFL All-Star, or if his career ended in him being a Hall of Famer, then we will talk about him. If he was not any of those three, we will not be referencing him. So with the first overall pick in the AFL-NFL draft of 1969, the Buffalo Bills took running back O.J. Simpson. Yes, you may have heard of this man for something slightly different than football, but he was indeed taken number 1, and he is indeed currently in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So definitely a big pick there. With the number 2 pick in the NFL-AFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons took offensive tackle George Kunz, and he did end up making it to the Pro Bowl at some point in his career. The 3rd overall pick was nothing, but the 4th one had a very familiar name to quite a few people. This was Pittsburgh Steelers defensive tackle Joe Green. Yes, the mean Joe Green that we all know today. Yes, he was taken in the 1969 NFL draft with the 4th overall pick. Then, with the 6th overall pick, the Boston Patriots took wide receiver Ron Sellers, and he made it to the AFL All-Star game. The San Francisco 49ers, with the following pick, took tight end Ted Qualick, I believe, and he made it to the Pro Bowl. We skip all the way over to the number 11 overall pick, and it's the Miami Dolphins taking defensive end Bill Stanfill, who made the Pro Bowl. The New York Giants, with the 13th overall pick, took Fred Dreyer, a defensive end. The San Francisco 49ers, with the 16th overall pick, took wide receiver Gene Washington, and he made the Pro Bowl. With the 19th overall pick, the St. Louis Cardinals took cornerback Roger Werlei. I cannot pronounce that last name. I'm sure some of you Cardinals fans are just butchering that, but Roger Werlei? I cannot pronounce that last name, but he was a cornerback, and he made it to the Hall of Fame. With the following pick, the 20th pick, the Cleveland Browns took running back Ron Johnson. He made it to the Pro Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs took Jim Marshall, a cornerback, with the 23rd overall pick. He made it to the AFL All-Star game. The Dallas Cowboys took running back Calvin Hill with the 24th overall pick, and he made it to the Pro Bowl. And with the 26th overall pick, the New York Jets took offensive tackle Dave Foley. And once again, we keep having more and more picks. Now there is 26 teams, therefore 26 picks. Almost as many as we have today. Now that concludes the first round. In the second round, the Cincinnati Bengals took Bill Burgee, a linebacker. He made it to the Pro Bowl. The Baltimore Colts picked possibly a familiar name to you, Ted Hendricks, a linebacker, and he made it to the Hall of Fame. The Minnesota Vikings took Ed White, a guard, and he made it to the Pro Bowl, and that will conclude our selections there in round 2. In round 3, the Broncos took Bill Thompson, a cornerback, and the Miami Dolphins took Eugene Mercury Morris, and a running back, and both of them made the Pro Bowl. Later on in that round, the Philadelphia Eagles took Bill Bradley, a defensive back, and he made the Pro Bowl. In round 4, the Philadelphia Eagles took Bob Kuechenberg, a guard, and he made the Pro Bowl. Also in that same round, the Houston Oilers took Charlie Joyner, a wide receiver, and he made the Hall of Fame. The Houston Oilers, in that same round as well, took Roy Gerela, a kicker, and he made the Pro Bowl. Los Angeles Rams took John Zook, a defensive end. He made the Pro Bowl. And the Kansas City Chiefs took Jad Runday, a center, and he made the Pro Bowl as well. In round 5, it does not look like there is any. None in round 6. None in round 7. 2 in round 8, it appears, and they are both made it to the Pro Bowl. It is Washington Redskins running back Larry Brown and Buffalo Bills quarterback James Harris, both of them making the Pro Bowl. In round 9, we did not have anyone. We did have one in round 10. It was Pittsburgh Steelers defensive end L.C. Greenwood. I believe he was part of the curtain of steel, the steel curtain of the Pittsburgh Steelers there in the 70s, so that definitely a monumental pick. The Atlanta Falcons took linebacker Jeff Van Note, In the 11th round, he made the Pro Bowl. Round 12, no one. Round 13 was no one. No one in round 14. No one in round 15. No one in round 16. And no one in round 17. So overall, we did have a grand total of 5 Hall of Famers drafted in this draft. So definitely not a bad draft. Definitely good there. Notable undrafted players include 4 Pro Bowlers. Nate Wright of the Atlanta Falcons was a cornerback. Also a cornerback, Robert James of the Buffalo Bills. Wayne Moore, an offensive tackle of the San Francisco 49ers, and Kurt Knight, a kicker for the Washington Redskins. All of them made the Pro Bowl as an undrafted free agent. So that concludes our draft stats. Now we can move on to the actual physical regular season. So this season, as you might remember from the last episode, the Giants and Saints had switched from, I believe, the Capital and Century divisions. Well, this time they switched back, returning to the 1967 alignment. So here are the results from that season. So in the Eastern Conference, Capital Division, the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins were the 2 top contenders, and the Dallas Cowboys ended up winning with a record of 11-2-1. We're not surprised there; they've been good in the past. And the Redskins came in second with a record of 7-5-2. Then in the Century Division of the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants were the 2 competitors, and the Cleveland Browns came on top with a record of 10-3-1, and the Giants faltering way below at a record of 6-8-0. Then, in the Western Conference Coastal Division, the race was between the Los Angeles Rams and the always dominant Baltimore Colts, and surprisingly, the Los Angeles Rams came out on top with a record of 11-3, comparatively to the Baltimore Colts record of 8-5-1. So significant downgrade there for the Colts. In the Central Division, the Minnesota Vikings and Detroit Lions were battling it out. And keep in mind, this, I believe, is the first division that is actually still around today. This is actually the accurate division concerning the current NFC North: Minnesota Vikings, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, and Chicago Bears. So this is the first complete division that we're seeing here in the NFL. It was a race between the Vikings and the Lions, and the Vikings came out on top with a record of 12-2, comparatively to the Detroit Lions record of 9-4-1. So, division leader Cleveland Browns faced off against division leader Dallas Cowboys, and the winner was the Cleveland Browns with a record of 38-14. Then, division leader Los Angeles Rams faced off against the division leader Minnesota Vikings, and the Minnesota Vikings came out on top in a very close one by a score of 23-20. Then the Cleveland Browns faced off against the Minnesota Vikings, and the Minnesota Vikings came out on top with a record of 27-7. Then they went off to play the AFL champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Vikings versus Chiefs matchup happened, and unfortunately, the Minnesota Vikings could not come out on top, seeing as they ended up losing to the Kansas City Chiefs by a score of 23-7. So I believe this is the Chiefs' this is the Chiefs' first, I believe, and this is the second year in a row that the AFL team has won the Super Bowl. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments if you guys found this interesting, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh, also, before I leave off, can't forget the awards. The MVP was Roman Gabriel, quarterback, LA Rams. Coach of the Year, Bud Grant, Minnesota. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Calvin Hill, running back, Dallas. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Mean Joe Green, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.